So in this demo, we are going to show you how to easily manage all of your image alt tags across the whole site. And this is not just limited to products, as you can see here in the file screen in the Shopify backend. Some of these are linked to products. Others of them could be linked to a blog or other piece of content on the site. So this is great because it just lets you manage everything all in one go. And this is what the sheet will look like. It's going to grab the ID, the alt text, and then the URL to the image. Now this, I just added this column in here. This is a nifty little Google Sheets deal where you can just use the image function, pass the URL, and show you a little handy preview. And then once you've got them in here, of course, if something's blank, you'll see that. You can add an alt text if something's missing. And then of course you can update them and optimize them. So SEO optimized napkin. And then that'll funnel back into the Shopify backend. So here's how it works. This first workflow is where you're going to have a scheduled run. Let's say every day or maybe every hour you want to run this. And all this is going to do is it's going to call this next automation, which is where the heavy lifting happens. And because we're going to have to paginate the files API, this is going to do one page of files at a time. So if you had thousands of files in there, it could handle that. And I don't know what the page limit is, like probably 200 at a time or something like that over the API. And then that's defined here. Right here, I've got that just set to 5. You probably want that set to at least like 20 for a standard use case. But so anyways, so this is going to grab those files in a paginated way. It's going to, in our data store is where we are going to, I can't middle click this anymore. That's all right. Which is where we're going to pull into, I've got a little settings database where I just have a files cursor. So that's what keeps track of where you are in the, anyway, so we're saving that so we can refer back to it in the future. And then we're going to loop over the files and upsert into Google Sheets. So you can run this multiple times. It'll find an existing record based on the ID and update it. And then what this does here is if this is the last item in the loop, it'll go ahead and run this code, which is going to call this workflow all over again. So that's how it recursively goes through the one page at a time of the files. Anywho, but basically just use that. It'll pull your stuff into there. And then the other thing, in order to send the data back from Google Sheets, I went ahead and used an app script for that, which I actually have a separate demo for that, which I'll link to, that you can use to copy this in. But basically this will, anytime a field is edited, it will ping this webhook, like it should have just done that 1:27 p.m. Yeah, I should have just done that with this change that we made here, SEO optimized napkin. And if is that the one that it was? Yeah, so it made that. Sometimes you got to click these twice for it to refresh the update there. It's a little tiny bit confusing. But anyway, so that's how the data will funnel back from Sheets into Shopify. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, you can find this on the automation demos section of the blog. And this has these 3 separate workflows you can download and play around with. If you need any help setting that up, feel free to let us know.